Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is War Train here. Today's video we're going to check out Link's Awakening, a remake on the Nintendo Switch. This Legend of Zelda game is a game that was on the Game Boy, which is one of the Game Boy's probably best games. Definitely in my opinion is their best game on the Game Boy, an absolute masterpiece. We're going to check out the E3 2019 trailer that they showed off. This is the newer game footage that they showed us. They actually did show footage in a Nintendo Direct earlier in the year. It was a big reveal. It was something they showed right at the end, and they showed Link pretty much the same exact scene that they show in the beginning of the Game Boy game. Link in his ship, and then he crashes, and then he washes up ashore. And this video picks up right there in the beginning of the game with him washed up on the shore, and a young girl, Marin, finds him. So we're going to check out the newer game footage that Nintendo showed off. But before that, if you haven't already, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell down below so you can get notified of all my new videos. And if you enjoy this video, please do me a favor and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And with that said, let's check out the trailer. Like I said, it starts off, it shows Marin attending to Link. She takes him back to her home. And this is exactly what happens in the beginning of the game. They show the big mountain on the island that you have to go find the windfish, which is in a big egg on top of that mountain. I love this art style. There was some controversy over this, but I think this art style is absolutely fantastic. It completely works for this game. I mean, what better way to take a old Game Boy game and recreate it on a modern console and pay it homage and not reinvent the game. They took what made this game so great and unique and just gave it a fresh coat of paint. Because this is how the gameplay was. This is almost a one-to-one recreation of this game. They did change few things, a very few. And there's the egg on top of the mountain there. And this is one thing that they did change. Dampy the Gravekeeper. There's actually a mode here where you can create your own dungeons, which is awesome. That is something totally new. This Dampy's, I think they called it the chamber, the dungeon chamber or something, or chamber of dungeons. This is actually in the spot of the Game Boy Color version where you took pictures. There was a picture mechanic to that game. And this does away with that, and now you can build your own dungeons. And they show the last area of the game with you walking up to the egg on top of the mountain. But such an iconic thing. But this comes out the 20th. But I love this game. They kept some great things here. They kept this, the 2D fishing game, which is awesome. You got something here, a prized item, and you can see in this little spot here, you had to catch a huge fish, and you can see the fish kind of hiding there. It's definitely different because you can spot him, I think, easier. You see him in the kelp down there at the bottom. And there's also a bottle down there, which is new. You didn't have bottles in the original game, so there's actually a bottle for you down there. And it seems like in the new menu screen that you're able to carry a couple bottles, which is, like I said, totally new to this game. But you can see where the big fish is hiding, so I think it'll be easier this time because you know exactly where he is. But still cool. And you can see the fisherman's house behind you. Don't remember if you could see that in the original game. it definitely was limited on what you could see there. I definitely don't remember seeing trees, but I think this does a great job because you see a lot. You see mountains in the background, and I think the 2D elements of this game were great in the original game, and I think they look really good here. I think the art style definitely lends a lot to the 2D um, parts as well. But let's kind of jump around here. Show you here in the beginning. See, we got Marin meeting up with Link, and the sand here is almost identical to the sand in the original game. You had like a wavy look to the sand, and you see it here. It just looks great. And you see a seashell kind of laying there. The seashells are a big part in this game. It's part of something in the game that you have to collect a lot of. So if you've never played this, if you do get this, definitely keep your eye out for seashells around the map. You're going to want to get all of them. And you get something very good when you collect all of them. Let's just say that. For people who haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil everything in this game. Even though it's been out for 26 years. Alright, let's see here. So, first you must awaken. He must awaken. So that being the windfish. Okay, so now you're at her house. That's where she takes you in the beginning of the game. So they really restrict this to a lot of beginning gameplay. They do show some later stuff in this one, though. The original trailer was only like in the first 10-15 minutes of the game, period. But you can see like nice little touches in this version that you would have never been able to see in the original game. You can see the pictures and you can see what's on the pictures. So that's kind of cool. You got a picture of the the mountain in Koholint Island here with the egg on the top. And you see her dad, which looks like Mario. Let's face it. They borrow a lot from the Mario games and other Nintendo franchises in this game, and you see those characters in this game. You see Kirby. You got a Yoshi doll, and then you got enemies. Octoroks are. I believe Octoroks were in both games. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's Octoroks in both games, and the cactus guys in the desert area, and Chain Chomp, the Goombas. I mean, there's probably even many more. I know Wart is in this game, the boss from Super Mario 2, which is pretty cool. But this was a great game, totally different Zelda game. It definitely was unique. And the ending is really the reason why. Just great art style here. It's nice you can see more detail in all of the characters. It was definitely a lot harder to tell what they were going for in the older version. So that's definitely cool. Yeah, see, you got an Octorok here. And you got one of these spike guys. I don't know what their names are. These little balls with the spikes. They're something that you would see in Mario games as well. But yeah, the Octoroks, they were in some Mario games. I remember they'd jump and spit stuff at you. Let's see here. Okay, so right here you have the raccoon that's in the beginning of the game. Really setting off the game, some of these characters. In this trailer, they don't show the owl, but in the first trailer, they did show the owl, which is pretty much the owl's through the whole game. He's kind of like your guide. But right here, this is the Lost Woods. Just a cool area for any Zelda game, really. Can Link escape Koholint Island? Yeah, I just love the art style though. Yeah, this guy raccoon playing tricks on Link. It's funny. Let's see here. So you got the desert area, and you have these cactuses. These are the ones I was talking about in the Mario games that are in the desert area. They look a little different here. Their heads completely spiked. I think a lot of Mario games they have flowers on top of their heads. But the art style, I think, it really pays off, and I just love that they kept the sand with the waves in it, and the way that it looks on this game, it actually gives it more of a depth. The original one, they did what they could with just the sprite tiles, and just the fact that you have such a detailed shield in this game. Originally, you just had a very dull shield, really plain, but now you actually get a shield with the Hylian, basically the Hylian crest and everything, the Hylian shield. So that's pretty awesome that they've made that a main staple and even made that a main staple now going back into remakes of old games. So that's so cool to see. And here you have Link running in and knocking apples off the trees, which is really cool. And they do show him eating them. Let's see. Yeah, right here. I think that is so neat how they just threw that animation in there, running and chomping down on an apple. But definitely something really cool about this game is the fact that you don't have to equip your sword and shield anymore. That is just awesome. Like you can see right up here in the top right hand part of the screen, you have the rock feather and you have the bow and arrow. Well, that is super significant because in the Game Boy game, you only had two buttons. So you had to equip those items and you were constantly going back to the pause screen. And it really drugged the game out a lot longer than it had to be. Just with all the time you had to hit pause and just, select another item or switch your items. It was crazy the amount of time you actually winded up spending in there. And it took you out of the game a lot of the time just because you'd have to stop so much. So that is like probably one of the best things about the modernization of Link's Awakening. Some people don't like the facial expressions. They think they cheaped out on it. But for the Game Boy, he had little black eyes like this. So I just think this is truly faithful to the original. And I think it just looks great. I mean, I'm glad they did this art style. It lends itself well to this game, and just a lot of the animations in it, and just all the characters and everything. The world, it just, I think it totally works. And here you got the shopkeeper. In the original game, he would actually, if you'd steal from him, which you could run out. He would actually kill you the next time you came in if you got out with an item. Like I did this, and the first time it happened to me, I couldn't believe that I came back and he killed me. I was like, what? And so I'm glad they kept this stuff in. It's little stuff like this that made this game so charming, and these are the things that are just gonna keep the game charming to a whole new generation of young gamers that have never played this. So it's definitely exciting for people that have never played this because the first time you actually make it through this whole game, I think it definitely does something does something good to you. It just is one of those good feelings. It's such a great story, a warm feeling game. It's just a great game. Let's see here. And just the combat looks fun. Right here, I love this. In the original game, you actually had like the tide with the water, and you had to like put yourself in the right direction with the tide. And it was hard to know what was coming up. You easily missed a lot of coins because you have to pay to ride on this raft. And you could easily miss a whole bunch of stuff. And here you used the hook shot. I'm sure you could still easily miss a lot of things, but you weren't able to use an item like this before on the raft. So now the fact that you're able to just pull yourself to a tree over into that direction to get coins and stuff is just awesome. And I think this is going to make this part of the game a lot more fun, because this isn't something, I don't think that it's not really like, I don't think it's mandatory. It may be just once to get to an area, if it even is. But I think it's more fun just to do it. I had fun doing it in the original game. I actually went through this part quite a few times because I just wanted to get to some areas that I couldn't get to. And by the end of the game, I had so many coins, so many rupees stored up anyway. It was like I didn't care how many I spent, really, because I would get so many back so fast, because Link just becomes so overpowered by the end of the game anyway. So really cool. And I just love the dungeon designs that they had in the original, and the way that they redid it. These bosses look awesome. I think they did a great job just bringing them back. And they do look like the original ones. I mean, they didn't stray from that at all. I mean, this Hinox is like the same color and everything here. It just looks great. You see the cracks in the floor. You know, they don't look just blended in with backgrounds or walls anymore. You can actually see what's going on. And there's other parts where, if you watch some of the E3 footage of people playing the demo, you can see there's cracks in the walls and spots where you used to have to use your sword as like a dowel rod and bang on the walls and try to listen for a different sound to see if they were hollow. So I think they may have done away with that and streamlined it more to just be easier, which is probably a good thing. And you see Link jump across this boss. Now, you see him, he's doing a flip right here with the rock feather. You could not do that in the original game at all. I don't even think the hardware would even let you do that, even if they wanted to. So that's pretty cool. And this buzzard here, or vulture, whatever you want to call him, man, I had a hard time with this guy the first time I played him. I don't know how many times I got knocked off of there. But once you figure out his patterns, he's pretty easy. But he was giving me a hard time. I ain't even gonna lie. But great boss fight, and it's cool because this is like the only one that you actually do in this 2D version. I love the 2D aspect of it. It really works in this game, and it was neat how they implement it in the game, just like traversing like under areas to get to another area. You'd go through a little section with some Goombas and stuff, and then there's another part later in the game where you go to a 2D section where there's ice and you have to melt certain blocks, almost like a puzzle to get across. But I think this vulture or buzzard looks really cool in this game. I like how they really kept the original and just modernized the way he looks. And you can see Link's got a different tunic here. So that's something different in the game. You'll have to find out why on your own. I won't spoil that stuff. But I was trying to show you too. It's hard to see, but he actually has a different shield here if you noticed. So that's something else too if you've never played this. Just pointing that out. But pretty cool stuff. Oh, and they also show another weapon that is iconic to a lot of these games, which in Breath of the Wild they didn't do a whole lot with, and that is actually the boomerang here, which in this game is a big deal, and that thing is super powerful in this game. And really cool when you get it, accompanied with another item. I'll let you find that item, but collect seashells. That's all I'll tell you. But you become so overpowered. It's awesome. You just are running through stuff, just shredding and having a lot of fun. That's how you get so many rupees. But I think he looks so cool here in the red with this different shield. He just looks powerful. And this is at the end of the game. He is very overpowered. But you're getting ready for the end, basically. Good stuff. Such a great game. And that's right when you get to this area, right after that battle. And such a great game. And the fact that they added Dampy in here, I think is so cool. This thing with the dungeon maker is awesome. Hopefully, this leads to a Legend of Zelda dungeon maker or Legend of Zelda maker. I think that would be absolutely awesome. But you can actually unlock stuff by doing this, which is really cool. They show that you unlock a bottle doing this, so that's definitely neat, you know. And this will kind of add a lot of replay value to the game. I love how they just show all this like stuff here that you can just fight the bosses more and make your own boards with or levels with different bosses, maybe hopefully multiple bosses. I just think that'll be so cool, and this is just looks like it's going to be a fantastic game, guys. What a great remake, and they didn't try to recreate nothing here. They just gave this thing a facelift with a modernized overhaul and are putting it out there for a new generation of young gamers to enjoy a great story, great gameplay, and enjoy a great franchise with being The Legend of Zelda. So I'm excited. I'm excited for a whole new generation of gamers to enjoy this kind of stuff because it is truly a remarkable game, and The Legend of Zelda is just an awesome franchise. It has some of gaming's best games throughout the decades, truly. And was a great game and another great addition, even if it is just a recreation. But looks super good. It comes out, I believe, September 20th. And that's when I think they're going to launch this Nintendo Mini. There's been so many leaks about this Nintendo Mini and talks about it. I truly believe it's going to be coming out in September, if not before. And Nintendo, they usually don't talk about this stuff until they're ready to launch it on us. So I believe that is coming any day now. I believe we could be getting a confirmation of it. And what better game to launch that system with than this game? I mean, I would love if they did a bundle with like a launch like special version of this Nintendo Switch Mini. Even though I already have two Nintendo Switches, which one my kids use and one I use currently, I would be buying a third one. Especially, well, I'll probably buy a third. I'll probably buy the Mini anyway just to have it because it'll be something I take to work with me. But if they came out with a Legend of Zelda one, whoo, boy, oh, I'd be excited. I would definitely day one pick up if that would happen. I think that they're going to launch the Mini for $199.99. It just sounds like the perfect price because I don't think Nintendo will go lower than that because the Nintendo Switch sells so good. So I think it'll be at around $200. And man, if they could put this in some kind of collector's edition, maybe one with the Windfish on it or the instruments, maybe a Link. I mean, who knows? I would just eat that up all day long. It would be like, just take my money, Nintendo, and just take it and just give me the system, please. But hopefully that'll happen. I think it's gonna happen, but we've yet to see. So we'll find out soon enough. But the game's coming in September. It looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to pick it up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for this game? Is it something that you will be picking up? For me, this is day one. I already have it pre-ordered. There's some kind of whatever edition. I forget what they call it, but I pre-ordered that version. Not the standard one. Originally, I had the standard version pre-ordered. I canceled that pre-order to get something like the Dreamers edition. I'm not really sure what it is, but it was like $10 more or something. So I have that pre-ordered. But if, like I said, Switch Mini bundle, I'm all over it all day long. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this game. Are you excited? But do me a favor, if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And give me a like, and I'd really appreciate that too. But that's the video, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.